Okay, we're back. Another Beverly Hills episode recap. This is, of course, season 15, episode 4, a Housewives Heatwave. And like we do at the start of every episode, we have to give a rating. So, Ashley, throwing it over to you for your rating.
It was fun. It was silly. I'm giving it 4 stars. I'm being generous on that, but I like fun. I like
You
light.
like fun, you like whimsy.
I do. I like silly. It was silly, harmless drama. Low
Agreed.
stakes. Low stakes is I think the way to phrase it. What's your rating?
Definitely low stakes. I'll do the other end and I will give it a little bit stricter of a rating. I'm gonna do 3.75.
I was actually going to go there, so like I'm totally with you on that. Like we see each other.
Yes, I think both scores are fair, but yeah, it was, I mean, things happened this episode, but it definitely wasn't earth-shattering by any means. So, where should we start?
Oh my gosh. I really like the renaissance of Sutton Brown, the emancipation of Sutton Brown.
Yeah.
I, if a man, after I gave him children, wanted to annul my marriage, you couldn't have me, like, I couldn't get rid of his last name fast enough.
Oh my gosh, same.
Sorry for the kids, but like,
Yeah. Well,
that's a
they're
line.
also not kids anymore.
Thank
So
you.
like, and I know there's the argument sometimes where it's like, I want to have the same last name as my children, but like once your daughter gets married, she's not having Strack as her last name.
Exactly. And Brown's a
So
great name, so go with
Sutton
it.
Sutton Brown flows quite nicely. So, in my opinion, obviously, I love a double alliteration. Sutton Strack, I love it. But Sutton Brown
Stunning.
isn't horrible, and it's her name,
It's her
and
name.
there's some power in that. So, in this episode, I feel like Sutton was really trying to reintroduce herself to the group and
Keyword trying.
trying because last season and usually before that, she's very, very vicious, specifically
Ugh.
toward Dorit. And I think Dorit breaking down the other day on the show really resonated with Sutton for the first time. And now Sutton's like, okay, you are worthy of empathy. And so now she's being like super empathetic toward Dorit, which is nice. But I just think it's so interesting because like I feel like the Sedona trip, which we'll get into, was her trying to be friends with Dorit. Like I feel like she planned that entire trip so that she can be friends with Dorit because she's like, I really want to be friends with her. I really want to connect with her on this trip. And I was like, so that tells me you being so mean to her in seasons past was because you couldn't sit with her, not because you didn't like her.
Wow. You know what? That's a really, really good point. I didn't think about it that way.
I did because I was like, Dorit's still the same person she's always been,
Hmm.
arguably more out there now that she's dealing with this thing with PK.
Right.
So I'm like, you hated her. You suddenly flipped is because Garcelle's not there.
Who was it that said she buys friendships? It was in regards to a charity thing. This was a couple seasons ago. I
Oh, I
really
know
wish I
exactly what you're talking
remember
about. I don't
this.
remember who said that, but I remember that context, that
So,
comment.
right. Somebody made the comment, Sutton bought something or like bought a table at this charity for clout, for
Was it
show.
Erika?
I feel like it was, but I didn't want to say it in case it wasn't. But that's where my instinct was. Yeah, I mean, please slip into the comments
Definitely let us
and
know.
remind us if you know for sure. But I feel like it was Erica. So, I mean, that is consistent with something. And I hate to use the word ally because again, don't feel like Sutton and Garcelle were allies. I do believe they were friends. But like now
Agreed.
that she doesn't have like a friend on the show, like she's got to make I mean, she bought a PJ. That's how you make friends. You buy PJs.
Certainly in this
Like,
in this area.
let me tell you out there, if you want to become our friends, the first step to a guaranteed friendship, put us on a private jet with you. We're going somewhere cool. Like, we love you.
I mean, Stephanie Sojai from Miami tried that too. She was like, "I have, but I can only bring two." That's crazy. That's so wild. And
It's like the Hunger Games to get on that PJ.
a Hunger Games for sure. So speaking of Erica, that brings up a great point too. This happened a little bit late. No, yeah, this happened a little bit later in the episode. very weird when Amanda was talking about her interaction with Erika at the painting thing that Jennifer Tilly hosted.
Mhm.
And Sutton had a visceral reaction when Amanda was like, I understood Erika in that moment. Like, I feel like Erika was trying to like put her beep on the table, and I put mine on the table too, and it was just as big, and she kind of like fell back. And Sutton was like, you don't know Erika.
It was Reba. Like, how did she turn into Reba in that moment? And you
Yeah,
did that voice. Like, you nailed that.
thank you. No,
It was honestly a little scary,
yeah, and I
but like
really,
in a good way.
no, I totally channeled, when I did that, I looked at myself, I'm like, oh my gosh, she actually just channeled that woman. That was wild.
You did that. You really did.
No, I was like, oh my gosh. No, but I was like, this is a weird reaction, Sutton. I received, no one at that table was like, Amanda, you're amazing. But that was a crazy reaction. Why are you having that reaction? So I'm like, Sutton, have you really changed? Or are you, and I'm not saying this in a mean way, but her whole thing is, I'm not drinking this season. Have you changed at all?
But that's the thing. She can't blame it on the drinking now
That's what I
because
was trying to say. Yeah.
she's just as whatever the issue was while she was drinking, if she's not drinking as much, that makes me a little bit more concerned for her almost.
Agreed.
Not concerned that something's wrong with her, but just that she's like that out of touch.
Exactly. Exactly. And I
I
just
mean,
found
I
that,
think when you're that rich, you don't, I mean, at some point, I think people like just truly lose touch with how the rest of the other
yeah.
199%, 99.5%.
Exactly. So I thought it was also interesting too when Jennifer Tilly was like, I miss my drinking buddy. So that tells me that maybe Sutton is literally not drinking as much, which is her
Right.
prerogative. So,
And
no,
great. If that's a choice she made, if that's something that she needs for her, like I support people always doing that. So good for her if that's the right path for her.
agreed. And one of the things of the episode, I just feel Dorit's frustration when it comes to PK and Kyle.
Ugh.
And I can't for the life of me, other than Kyle saying
Ugh.
the soundbite, I don't want to talk poorly on PK on TV because I feel like ultimately it's going to hurt Dorit's case. Has Kyle ever said that to Dorit? Because that makes sense, but you said it in a confessional. You've not said it from what we've seen on camera
Oh,
to
she never does.
Dorit. And so
Right.
that's a totally fair and valid assessment. Amanda said the same thing. I feel like Dorit always dunking on PK is not going to help her in the courts. Like, it's just not going to help her. And I agree with that. And that's good advice. Say that to Dorit, because to Dorit, it looks like, Kyle, you're always taking PK's side. And I have to say, you kind of are.
That's exactly what she's doing.
100%. All your friend wants you to say, who is going through hell behind the scenes with this man, and I'm sure you don't even know Kyle fully, is, Dorit, that sucks. Yeah, he's treating you wrong right now. I
I'm
feel
so
for
sorry you're
you.
going through that. This must be so hard for you.
Exactly.
Your poor children. I mean, there are just so many ways to empathize that should come from her naturally. Like, where is the disc? Why is the loyalty to PK a man
Yes.
she just sends funny memes to? To not be to prove to the world yet again, I'm sorry to the Kyle Richards stands. I like Kyle, but again, I'm sorry, she's not a girl's girl.
I can't figure out the issue with PK, cuz like she refuses to give Dorit an inch when it comes to PK. She won't. She like literally won't. I could understand if she and Mauricio were still like a power couple together and like Mauricio was PK's best friend, fine.
That would be a different story.
I agree. But like, you're not with Mauricio anymore. And yeah, that's still Mauricio's close friend, but Kyle, you don't have allegiance to Mauricio anymore.
No.
Well, on paper. So,
No, he has no allegiance to her.
correct. So I'm just like, why is Kyle not doing this? She's like, well, I don't know that of PK. I've never seen that of PK. Whatever. But in this context and in this moment, Dorit, even if she's sensationalizing it or you feel like Dorit's wrong, regardless, she is going through it. And as her friend, you just have to validate her feelings, Kyle. You really, really do. Even if you don't agree with them. Dorit, I'm so sorry. No, that sucks. I can't believe he's doing this to you. That's it. You don't have to be like, FPK, da-da-da. But just give her
The
something.
thing. That preach. I couldn't agree more. It was very disappointing watching Kyle. She's like a 50-something-year-old woman. The fact that like even after backlash from last season over this, she still has this like major disconnect is insane to me, to be
And Kyle's
honest.
not stupid. She knows what Dorit's wanting, and she just is not giving it to her. I don't know if this is like a lick back for last season when Dorit and Kyle were not the best on of terms in the beginning of the season. I don't know if it's that,
If
but
it's that, that's really immature and petty.
well, I think it was one of on Watch What Happens Live. I don't know if it was last season or earlier this season. Must have been earlier this season. I don't think Dorit's even speaking to Kyle and Erika. At least not when she said that on Watch What Happens Live.
Right. I think you're right. I remember
So
hearing that and being like, ooh.
yeah, so I'm just like, I guess Kyle foresaw that her friendship with Dorit wouldn't outlast her friendship with PK, and so she's like, I'm gonna choose wisely, and I'm choosing PK.
To
Maybe.
choose PK.
I know.
Imagine a world where you choose PK.
Yeah. And poor Dorit's trying so hard to plead a case about how horrible PK is, and Kyle's just like, I don't know that. I've never seen that. I don't know her.
I would be so frustrated. Honestly, it's so infuriating to watch it on Dorit's behalf. I'm just like, how is this woman not hearing her?
If I was Dorit, I simply would be like, okay, I'm never venting to you about PK ever again.
You know what? This is the perfect example of going to a hardware store and trying to get milk. You're not going to get milk at a hardware store.
Yeah,
Period.
I'd be like, if you want to crap talk your ex estranged husband or whatever, go to Bose. Don't go to Kyle anymore.
Right.
Stop.
Get a therapist.
Get a therapist, but also
Not
like
ChatGPT, Craig.
Chad works, I'm sure.
Chad, he is Chad.
Yeah, like Chad. We won't even go there. But let's talk about Rachel Zoe. We
Oh my
learned
God. Can we always talk about Rachel Zoe? What a goddess.
always. No, I love her like little words of wisdom when it comes to like fashion and things like that. It's just so funny. Like when she said last episode, if you wear a little black dress on a first date, you're totally taking him home. And I'm like, we needed that. We needed that little gem. Now I know if I wear a little black dress on a first date, the expectation, I will refrain from wearing a
Yes.
little black dress. That's just my personal thing. But Rachel
Says the
Zoe.
girl in angelic white.
Yes. No, so I had to crack up though on the private jet. Speaking of private jet, when they're heading to Sedona. Oh, did we say that's the trip that Sutton's planning? They're going to Sedona, Arizona.
Yes, this is the trip.
Yeah, and by the way, I would love to go to Sedona because when I think of Sedona, I think of like calm, peace, nature, clay, Aztec. I could be wrong, but the reason why I bring that up is because I was cracking up when Rachel Zoe was doing an assessment of all the women walking onto the private jet there. She was like, everyone has different interpretations of what Sedona means. I was dying, LOL.
Well, you know what? They all said Sedona in their own way. I loved it. I think that they all see that's the thing. It's not about all looking the same. It's about having your own personal style. And while I might not like it personally, it's not my style. Everybody is committed to a look, and I really appreciate them.
Okay, so question for the chat and you listening, tell me in the comments below if you were invited on a trip to Sedona, what would you wear? Like what is your inner like what's your instinct? How would you have arrived on that private jet?
Oh my God. First of all, yes. The resort life is amazing. My sister pre-pandemic worked in like high-end hotels, so I actually got to stay at like a Four Seasons. I don't think it was Sedona. I forget where it was, but it was like big. You need to be comfortable, and the desert is rough, so I would recommend jeans and heavy pants, but it's also hotter than the devil.
No, but like what would you have showed up though to wear?
Oh, I would definitely be wearing a caftan.
You would on the plane?
Oh, absolutely. A caftan, 100.
Okay, so you guys listening in the comments, if you were invited and you were showing up, what would you have worn? Let us know in the comments. I probably would have arrived if I had like my current closet. I'm not putting myself in like Kyle's closet, but if I would probably arrive in like honestly, probably Western wear, maybe. Or I would lean toward like earth tones, like emerald green of some sort, or like a burnt orange. Honestly, similar to like your jacket colors. Probably something in that
Ah,
family I would
oh
arrive.
yes, this is, oh my God, I didn't even realize, but my new Sherpa that my mom got me for Christmas is
Stunning.
very, very Sedona. Actually, this is probably something I would bring.
Yeah, no, exactly. So like that's probably how I would dress. So that's really funny just to see everyone's interpretations. It certainly would have been no shade to Miss Hilton, Mrs. It wouldn't have been a off the shoulder flowy maxi dress. But she has her own rule book, so we don't care.
She does her own thing and we love her for it.
We do. And it's something I found interesting about Rachel Zoe is the fact that she really wanted a daughter and she got two sons, I think.
Yeah.
So funny.
What I couldn't get over is that she has no nanny.
I love that for her.
Wow. Because, it's funny because in the episode, like before she said that, I was like, you can tell she's really hands-on with her kids. Like, I really like to watch her
Yeah.
interact with her children. And then she said she had no nanny. And I'm like, well, that makes
I
sense.
love interact or not interacting with their kids. LOL. I would love that, by the way. Love kids, but I love watching people interact with their kids on these shows because it gives children never lie in these contexts, which is why I truly believe that Emily Simpson's twin boys 100% said that about Heather Dubrow. I will die on that hill. Emily will never convince me she doesn't talk poorly about the cast in her own home to her husband, as she I think should. So
And just to say, the best source in the world would be Annabelle, the daughter, who's a few years older, who would do nothing but tell the truth, especially being like, sorry, mom, but they asked me, I can't lie, like a little girl would. And I love that. Like, why aren't we asking Annabelle what
sorry, when
happened?
Annabelle turns 18, we want the exclusive. We have
Yes.
written for Annabelle, and she deserves a voice, as does Summer Moon. Summer, when you turn 18, reach out because we need to interview you. Same with Annabelle. Justice
Oh
for the
my God.
kids.
Justice for the
Yeah, no,
kids.
but children are always, especially when they're young, in my opinion, a great indicator. And so I thought it was really cute too when Rachel was FaceTiming one of her boys and they were like, I really love you, and hung up. I'm like, cute, good. I love when little boys can still be in touch with their emotions and say, I love you and things like that. That's so
So
important.
sweet.
So good on
It's
you,
so
Rachel.
sweet.
I can tell she's doing a great job.
So just like you, I feel like she's got like really in touch, emotional, kids that are just, very vocal and whatnot. Did you see her face when her luggage wasn't there? When she came
Mood.
out in the same outfit after everybody had changed, and she's like, yeah, I'm wearing the same thing as earlier. She looked like she had just seen a ghost.
Well,
I felt awful for her. Like, that's the worst thing that could happen to her,
well, I have two
besides
thoughts.
obviously worse things.
I have two thoughts about that. First thought is I understand her. My first thought is this is a tax bracket question I don't understand. How much luggage can you bring on a PJ? Because she should have just brought it with her. You're flying. Okay, hold on. You're flying private anyway. Even if she brought 17 pieces of luggage, why wouldn't she just bring it on with her?
Because of Aaliyah,
What's
the
that?
pop singer.
Oh, duh. Okay.
I can't. I mean, every time I think of there being like over, I mean, that's why her plane crashed. It was too much luggage.
No, I totally received that, but like, how much was she really bringing? Like that
I
she
mean,
had.
I don't know. I mean, does she have it in like chests? Like, does she? Is she like David Rose on Schitt's
Oh,
Creek,
yeah,
where she keeps her
probably.
sweaters in a cedar chest? Is she transporting said cedar chest? I don't know,
I
but
don't
yeah, that
know.
raises
But
questions.
now I want to know how much luggage did you bring? How much wood would a woodchuck chuck? How much suitcases, how many should
Right.
Rachel bring? So that was my first thought. And two, of course, the fashionista of the group didn't have her looks to turn out. Which
It was hard.
that sucks. But also, all the women had like 20 pairs of shoes, X, Y, and Z. Not one person could have offered her, hey, do you want to wear like something else for the sake of like your comfort? I don't know. I would have, I mean, I'm not Rachel's own size, but some of the people on the cast are.
Right? Yeah.
I wondered why nobody offered.
I didn't even think about it, but you're right. I would have been like, girl, wear something of mine. I've got 20 pair of shoes.
No, like literally, like you all probably have 7 luggage pieces to yourselves. So I'm like, give her something. I mean, I'm not saying share underwear, but give her a different caftan or something. I don't
Exactly.
know.
You can spare a caftan.
Yeah. So this brings up another point, speaking of, because this was not her episode. And I feel like they're teeing her up to be a villain.
But can I just say, while she was so just obnoxious. I think gauche is the perfect
Gauche. Yep.
word. New money, super like 20, they're 25,000, like sunglasses vibe, like total new money. And while I don't know like her business, I see a lot of people online saying that they see it being kind of skeptical.
Yeah.
At least she's not like a terrible person. If we're gonna have a villain, at least she's like an annoying person and not somebody like robbing people
Correct. Agreed.
or putting other people in danger because of life choices like drinking and driving.
I
Like,
agree.
at least she's like, again, a low stakes villain.
Yeah, I saw discourse on Threads that they were like they need another like villain like Diana. And Diana I never liked because I'm not gonna lie, I did buy into all of the drama I heard about Diana online. I don't know if it's
Hmm.
true, all alleged, but something about Diana, her spirit just rubs me wrong. She has
100.
a very dark energy about her, and I'm sorry, I believe everything said online, in my opinion. I'm not gonna say that what the lies are because I don't want us to get a letter. But I feel like they're trying with Amanda, and I agree with that discourse.
I'm not listening to it.
Yeah, so it's interesting. So I feel like as well, Amanda reminds me a lot of Dorit because Dorit is just as showy she's just a little bit more tactful with it, where I feel like Amanda's not tactful at all. At all. She has no decorum.
The fact that she walked in with so many labels. Oh,
So
it's
many
just
labels.
so it's so new money. And I think it was Jennifer, it was Kathy or Jennifer Tilly, like one of the ones that has like a lot of money. They were like the size of the Louis Vuitton logos were the size of my head. And it's just like, girl, it's just it's so gauche.
It's so gauche.
If I had money, I would just have like the most classic pieces. They're always gonna have like a logo or something on it, but it wouldn't be like
I
that's
don't
just
even like
so
that in
flashy.
general. Like when people wear the big like polo labels and things like that, even people amongst our peers, I'm just like, that's just not my personal
Pay
style.
me, give it to me, and then pay me to wear it, and I'll wear it. But like, I'm not being your billboard for free.
No, 100. And plus, I didn't like what she was wearing. Even if it didn't have all those logos, I just didn't like it.
Mm-mm.
So
Because I don't think she has a great personal style.
I don't know that she has taste.
Right,
And I think
exactly.
that's the thing is like just because you have a ton of money doesn't necessarily mean you have taste. And
Right.
that's something that you're kind of bred into in a way. Especially when you look at people like Kyle Richards or Kathy Hilton on the cast. Like there's a certain air about them that you can't replicate, even if you
Right.
come into money. It's
Exactly.
just like one of those like Rachel Zoe has that same vibe, even though like she's very like self-made and whatnot. But like she has a completely different air about her than my opinion Amanda does.
Amanda comes off not only young, because I mean she's younger than the rest, but she's not 25. You know
No,
what I mean? She just seems so immature.
that's a great word for it because I'm just like immature in a way that like not like Brittany Bateman in my opinion. Like I don't think she's that like delusional maybe, but I don't know. Something I liked Amanda the first like episode, but now I'm kind of like okay, I get where the women are coming from because it
Oh,
does seem like she's always trying to one up the other women. We all know people like that.
oh
That's
gosh.
the
Yeah, they're
worst.
exhausting. And the fact that she was doing it about Kyle's house to Kathy Hilton, like, first of all, there was nothing wrong with Kyle's house. Kyle's house was gorgeous, stunning, picturesque, perfect. You wanted to change it, fine, but we're not going to say anything was wrong with that house before.
Absolutely not. That house is a relic. It is a temple for some. If you're a Housewives watcher, like there are some homes that like we never want to see touched. Sonia
No, I
Morgan's
want my
townhome.
sarcophagus in there.
Exactly. Like the townhome, Sonia's townhome is one. Kyle Richards, is that house in Beverly Hills or Encino?
I think it's an insane. No,
Or Bel Air,
I think that's the
actually.
Bel Air home
Yeah, I think
because I
it's
think
Bel
they
Air.
eventually moved to yeah.
Encino. Okay, yeah. So I'm like, Kyle's Bel Air home. Like, don't touch the Morgan letters. And so I'm just like, Amanda, target audience A not reached on this show because we all love that house. Clearly you did too because you moved into it. Into her
Right.
sister, it's not going to land.
And I like that Kyle or excuse me, Kathy wasn't having it. The fact that Kathy was just like,
Yeah.
given that look, I was like, yes, girl, yes.
And as someone who perhaps is a little too cognizant of what people are thinking, saying, what's on their faces, does Amanda not have any of that? Like, do you not feel that people are like not liking you at all? Like, that doesn't make you want to pivot a little bit?
Every time, like, I mean, like, Sutton was like looking down when she
Yeah.
would do it. Everybody was like doing side eyes. I have to say, one of my favorite side eyes of the night was Kyle. Oh my God, it was so good. She was giving side eye. Oh my gosh, it just left me. We'll get to it later on, but I was just like, oh, Kyle gives great reactions.
Oh, yeah. No,
Her
she's.
reaction shots are so good. Oh, it was at the table when Kathy says, like, oh, that's great.
Oh, 100%.
And then they did the flashback to homeless, not toothless. And she goes, oh, that's great.
100%. Kyle has Kathy's number, obviously. That's her sister. And it just cracks me up because she knows immediately Kathy's not listening. She don't
I'm
care.
I'm adopting that for the record. If you hear me say, oh, that's great, I'm not listening or I don't understand. And that's the end of that story.
So for me, my version of this and my friends have clocked is, oh, that's cute, cute. Like that's my tell. And I realize, so like sometimes I'm serious. I'm like, oh, that's cute. But like you can tell when I'm just like, cute. Like, yay, love it. So that's totally Kathy Hilton's version. So that's so funny. So
I
any
love
other
that.
thoughts about Amanda before we move on from her?
One thing she said, a producer asked her if she ever felt intimidated, like, because she's like at Kathy Hilton's house, this, that, and the other. She said, I feel like, but it was the way she said it. She said it like deadpan and it like had like weird, like laser, like dark energy. She
Yes.
said, I feel like I belong in every room I'm in. And it just came off so weird to
So
me.
I took that differently. I actually tweeted it, or I'm sorry, threaded it, because that's definitely going on my daily affirmations. I loved that
Wow.
quote, actually, because I think everyone should feel that way, that you belong in any room that you want to be in, a
I'm
million
not,
percent.
it was her energy. She kind of freaked me out with it. I actually do like the quote. That was the one time, because like I said, I felt like everything was really low stakes. That was just something she said that just her energy was really, really weird in that moment.
I could understand where you're coming from. I didn't necessarily. I think she's trying to prove herself because the producer asked her, do you feel like a fish out of water? And she's like,
Right.
no, I belong in any room that I want to be in. Yeah, Bose has the same energy, in my opinion, when she's talking about like her acumen. I think
Oh,
it's
it's
just.
even in her tagline.
Exactly. So like I think I totally get the read you 100% had. I just think she was kind of being more like the same way kind of like Bose is with like, of course, yeah, I'm the CEO of Netflix, okay? Like you know
Oh,
what I mean?
so good. So good. Yeah, and she sure is.
And yes, and 100%. Um
Can we talk about the PJ real fast?
yeah.
Just because like I love the opulence of these shows. Like I want to see rich people do things I can't do, and one of those things is take a PJ. So, first of all, we know what we're wearing. Second of all, we're going to leave the food and snacks to Kathy Hilton. There was champagne. Her hors d'oeuvres were like a little crudité spread. She
Yeah.
told everybody just to relax till we get there. Everybody had the time to chill. Nobody's like having to impress each other. She set the precedent for everybody just kind of relax. That's a hostess.
Hostess Dorit was an
Or
hour and a half.
excuse me, did I say Kathy? I meant Sutton. Sutton did that. That was Sutton's trip. Excuse
Yeah.
my slip of the tongue.
Honestly, I was like maybe that did happen. I don't remember
It was
certainly.
Sutton, but yeah, no, Sutton, you did that. It was great. Loved
No,
it.
Sutton. Oh my gosh. If there's someone who I think could probably host well, it's Kathy, to your point, and it's Sutton. She's a Southern woman. She was raised manners. You got to present, put on. And so that is not shocking to me that she rolled out the welcome or the red carpet
Right.
for the women on the private jet.
And now that I think this, to the point you made earlier, Dorit being late was bothersome to Rachel Zoe, who is very familiar with a PJ, obviously, whereas Sutton is the one who's obviously familiar with PJs as well. But Sutton didn't really care that Dorit was late, whereas it seemed like, I mean, everybody did wait. Producers made a point to say that Dorit was later than the rest.
An hour and
And
a half
Sutton
late.
an hour and a half late, and Sutton's just like, okay, because she, I think, just wants so
She
desperately to
wants to
align with
be
these women.
100%. She wants so badly. And Rachel Zoe will be honest. She doesn't, again, when the housewives don't need it, it
Thank
always is
you.
the best. Because Rachel Zoe does not give a crap. She doesn't need this show. I'm happy she's on it. But so
Right. We need her.
therefore she's going to make her honest takes. And I'm obsessed with it. Yeah, Dorit was late because she said that she had travel issues with her children. Her children did end up going to Florida with Dorit's parents
Thank
without
goodness.
the request of or without the
Supervision.
yeah, of PK. So I thought that was interesting. I'm sure
Hmm.
Kyle was rolling her eyes in her seat. Which, speaking of Kyle, she's come a long way from her early days of flying when she would like scream and put her leg up on the ceiling and
Oh my
clutch
God.
everything. She has
Right.
no problem taking a private jet now. She has grown.
That's the evolution.
That's the poor her. So another tea spill this episode we all know now, but Erika was a little bit more forthcoming about her relationship with her new man Shrek. His name's John McPhee. She met him at Mighty Hoopla in London behind or backstage, and I thought it was interesting because last episode Erika expressed how she's really, you would be surprised that she's very timid when it comes to dating. She doesn't have game like you would imagine the pretty mess to have. And she did make the first move, though, with John. So I thought that was really interesting that she went out of her way to pursue something with this man after seeing him a few times in person. And
Who the man wears Crocs.
I just don't find him attractive, but like,
I
whatever.
don't get it.
I don't
When
get it.
when Amanda said, "Oh, he's special ops," I was just waiting for her to say, "Oh, well, I have a friend who's special ops."
No, a
I
hundred
was literally
percent.
waiting for it. Oh, he's the most special op of all ops.
But speaking of that comment, I LOL'd because when they were talking about it at the table, Amanda was like, well, Reddit says he's special ops. And I was like, oh my gosh, he's one of us. Not that we're Reddit trolls, but like we are online. So the
Right,
fact
we're
that
paying
like,
attention.
and regarding this I can't wait to hear at the reunion. Dorit went out of her way in her confessional to say, I'm a little hurt that Erika didn't tell us about this guy. I know she didn't tell me and she didn't tell Kyle. And then the next confessional, Kyle's like, so I already knew about this. Like once Dorit, ugh,
We need Andy and a camera.
needed, and that's why I 100% believe that Dorit is not speaking to Erika and Kyle because now in present time, because that is so indicative of things to me.
Yeah, so telling.
That hurt my feelings for Dorit. I hate when I think that like I'm in the inner circle and then you find out you're not. That is hard.
Ooh, yeah, when you find out that you're the Brandy Glanville to Denise Richards, where they like Brandy really thought they were friends, and Denise
Yeah.
Richards was like, "Oh no, we met a few times."
I'm
That's a
like,
tough pill to swallow. I've been the Brandy
ooh.
Glanville in those situations. I get it.
Yeah, so I'm like, ooh, that hurt my feelings for Dorit, thinking that like
Right,
you're close friends with these women that you've been on the show with the longest.
right.
And yeah, I mean, obviously Kyle knew before you. Kyle was the first conversation that Kyle had on camera about Morgan was to Erika, noticeably absent Dorit.
Dorit, exactly, exactly. I just can't ignore the fact that we're not. Erica's being very vague when it comes to, is it John?
John, Shrek.
Very, I know Shrek is just so bad. I just can't help but think of how rude she was to Garcelle when Garcelle wanted to keep things private, and she just could not get over that. And fast forward to here we are.
I always thought that there was a double standard there. Honestly, on this show, I mean, in my opinion, I think the trade-off between us seeing the more affluent women, the women who are more household names per se, versus some of the other housewives who we know because they're on Housewives. I feel
Right.
like Beverly Hills has a certain level of like privacy or a veil over them than the other franchises. And actually, Dolores made mention of this on Tamara Judge's podcast. She was like, those women don't have to be as private, or I'm sorry, as public about their personal lives than we do on these other franchises. It never would have. She was speaking in context to Morgan and Kyle and how Kyle just opened up about it. But she was like, that never would have flown on my show. And she's not wrong. She's absolutely not wrong.
No, 100% clocked. 100.
So I have to wonder, you know, I agree. Like, I received your comment and I agree 100%. That's why I'm just like, well, to be honest, none of you are really super, super, super honest about your personal lives, maybe besides Dorit now.
And she tried to hide it for long enough. Bravo threatened her and said, we're going to make you a friend of, if you don't mention that PK is living in a hotel.
Exactly. And again, received that Kyle maybe would have been on another timeline more honest with it if Morgan allowed her to. But again, like, it's not fair when Garcelle was the sacrificial lamb and you guys all did it. Like,
it was
it's always
such a pile on.
It's on their terms, I think, is the issue, where the other Housewives women, like, it's very much so not on their terms. Like, they do what they're told, and it took 7 seasons. I'm being hyperbolic, but it took 7 seasons for Kyle to be like, yeah, I was in a relationship with someone. She didn't even say the name. Obviously, we pieced it together, but it took forever for us to get back. Name them. And so,
not you being Reba or Sutton is Reba again.
Yeah, it's just I feel bad for Garcelle. I'm glad she's no longer on the show and she's choosing peace.
Amen. And amen to that. Honestly, and I'm a Garcelle fan. I miss her on the show because I did like seeing her life. But as far as the chemistry of the women on the show, I don't miss Garcelle with this cast. I would love Garcelle on this show with other people, but while it's this cast, I just don't think that the energy, the vibes are there.
I'm happy she's not on because now the women have to work. Because Garcelle was the obvious person for them to like have issue with. Erika, Kyle, all of that. Like, that was just an easy person for them to cause drama with. She wasn't in their clique. They already had issues with Sutton. She was Sutton's like major mouthpiece. Sutton was a little timid mouse, and Garcelle advocated for her friend. Been there. Never will do that again. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's just yeah. So it's like, I'm happy now that Garcelle. So now they all have to work. There's no more Shield. The Shield is gone. Garcelle is gone. Clock in, people. Clock in. I feel for Garcelle.
I know. Me too. I miss her, but you know, we still have, thankfully, Jennifer
now it's
Tilly,
Amanda, by the way.
Exactly. And again, I'm okay with Amanda. I'm very annoyed with her, but like she's a fun person to dislike. She's not somebody I have like a bad, like guttural feeling about. I don't think her job is the greatest thing in the world. I think she's probably taking a lot of money from people who are kind of desperate. In that job, it just seems a little weird to me.
Well, I agree with that, but then what about Taylor Swift?
I agree on that
Does
too.
she not do the same thing? So I'm just like, I have a hard time necessarily saying, oh, well, she's pandering to a vulnerable audience. Kylie Jenner literally sold her lip kits to people who wanted to look just like her. Meanwhile, she had lip injections.
Exactly. Well, and I criticize all those people for those exact same reasons. And I put her on that list. While I do like Taylor Swift's music, there's no such thing as an ethical billionaire, period.
100%.
So 100%. Yeah. So I just don't think there's a lot of, but that's the thing. Like, I'm not the morality police.
Exactly.
Just because it doesn't sit well with me, like, she's not doing anything illegal.
No, she's not. And if someone wants to buy into you just saying words, that's them. And
if she's claiming her taxes, you know, if all's good with Uncle Sam, it's really none of our business.
I also was cracking up when Erika was like, well, I know someone that spent $200,000 on crystals. Ha ha. And I was like, LOL. That's the unserious that you have to match Amanda's energy with. Because it's like, this is stupid. This is ridiculous. But in our final moments, let's throw out some just funny things that Kathy said or did on this episode. Because Kathy's always like the comedic timing is there with her.
Yes. First of all, saying that bee pollen is the year's superfood. As somebody who pays attention to that stuff, I didn't hear that anywhere except for Kathy Hilton. So thank you for breaking that news.
And so it is.
And so it is. Bee pollen is a superfood for the year.
I LOL'd when she was taking out her decorative pillows from home out
in
of
her
that
plastic bag.
Plastic garbage bag thing on the bed. Good for you, Kathy. Comfort is key. Where's the fan, though?
Well, I was looking for a box fan in there. I didn't see it. Maybe she had prearranged something ahead of time. I wouldn't put it past her team. I see them like doing a great job in those respects.
Also of note, be mindful of your under eye makeup around Kathy Hilton. She will tell you. And we love her for
And
that.
yes, and the fact that she doesn't let you leave her house without a present, like, bless this woman.
And on that note, you guys, that was our Beverly Hills episode 4 recap. Click around, watch some other videos of ours, and we will see you next week when we recap episode 5.